I can't remember what was going on. Oh, god damn it, I just remembered. I repressed what was going on because it was depressing. We're playing as Vanille, aren't we?
Oh, we found him. He just walked like 30 feet.
He left the chocobo behind.
Why, Saz? Why would you do that?
Saz.
You scared me.
What's up?
I'm just thinking.
I'm trapped in a terrible video game.
Don't blame
with
yourself.
you.
You know, you can't control who FLC picks for a focus.
My son Dodge.
I mean, you do have at least some control. You could not go up to the thing and get picked.
He's a lessee.
Yeah, they did kind of walk into that. I mean, literally.
He said he wanted to see a foul sea, so I took him to go on a tour of the Uriday Gorge place.
Oh my god, it's a flashback, not at Bodum.
Chick to take home, but the second I turned my back,
Yeah, that big thing that that the screen opened on there, that is the fallacy in charge of making all the energy. And, oh, wait, who was that? I recognized that little fur thing.
I know you're in here. Dodge!
Now, what are you doing here?
Say something. Dodge! Hey, what's wrong? Dodge!
Daddy.
Anyway, you wouldn't know what that fallacy was if you didn't read the data log.
you okay? You're not hurt, are you?
I read the data log. I still don't know.
What's that? Apparently.
So, for whatever reason, they only show, like, half of the Sanctum brand there. It's actually, like an orb standing on top of that little thin part, but
he got picked by a Sanctum Falsi.
I don't think they ever actually showed the full thing.
Hold up.
Pulseless.
He says that the only thing it could do was to make Dodge on the sea to protect it, but haven't we seen that Falsi are quite capable of defending themselves?
Then, it was one test out.
With, like, lasers and
And
stuff?
then they couldn't figure out his focus.
Well, it defended itself pretty easily against people who didn't have magic, but the Pulseless would have magic.
Either way.
And it wasn't really capable of defending itself because we beat it.
After he was made a lessee, Dodge had some way of sensing things from Pulse. He was the one who found the Pulse Falsi.
Well, it is one of the problems I've always had with Final Fantasy stories just in general. People always make these weird leaps of logic as opposed to, you know, what's capable and what could happen, what couldn't happen.
Have something to do with destroying.
It's like, we're going to get hold of the MacGuffin and hold it so that the bad guy can't get at it. And we have to get past all these tough traps that are designed to keep people out.
You know the rest.
And then the only thing stopping him from taking it is us, and we can't beat him, or we would have done it already.
Probably a crystal already. Of course.
This sort of amounts to the same kind of thing to me.
Yeah.
Then either we die,
Video games.
or he's a
They're still dumb.
Die? Really?
Well, if people ever made a good decision, there wouldn't be a story to have a game around.
If people ever make good decisions, he would shoot Vanille.
It's a pickle, all right.
I like how the Chocobo forbids him from, like, doing anything rash.
The bird says no.
Yeah, I'm not going to trust my own logic, but if a bird says no...
Well, would you say no to that bird?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, we're back actually playing Final Fantasy XIII again. How's that gonna work out for us?
Well, we're about to learn about a gimmick.
I love Final Fantasy XIII gimmicks.
What is that?
Wait, no I don't.
No!
A device that makes bad weather. Come out to play in the rain, did you? Isn't that adorable?
I just noticed they faded in the lyrics, like, not pre-recordedly.
Alright, so, these climate control orbs will change it from sunny to rain, and that actually will affect which enemies are on the screen.
Will it affect anything else at all? Don't answer that.
No, that's about it. But like, in the rain, we will get mud frogs and scale beasts. If it is the day, we will get the flandragoras and a wyvern, which we will see a little bit later. Yeah, we tried to interrupt his courtship dance there, but basically all it does is summon a couple more of the small guys, which is pretty useless because they die in like a single hit anyway.
So basically this whole area is, you can either go through it with one set of graphics and another set of enemies, or you can go through it in a completely identical setup but with different graphics and different enemies. Or you can go through it twice.
I think the idea is you're supposed to switch to whichever weather has the easier enemies on the stretch ahead, so that you don't have to, say, fight scale beasts.
Ah yes, I swear I saw a player who actually did that once, honest.
Well, speaking of fighting scale beasts, let's just tuck that thought away. We'll get back to that in about a minute.
Oh boy. Wait, no. What am I saying? I don't agree with that at all.
Might be able to control these nasty critters.
Well, the other problem is, I mean, you gotta fight the tough ones, or how are you gonna fill your bestiary?
How are you gonna get CP, man? You gotta level your guys up.
How are you gonna get that platinum trophy?
I think either way you do it, there's more than enough CP to max out in this section anyway, so... So, yeah, here's a wyvern. He's kind of a bitch, but he's easier than the scale beasts, I guess, if nothing else.
Kind of takes the sting out of it, doesn't it, if he's easier than other, more common enemies in this area. Right?
Eh. Yeah, he's vulnerable to poison, which is an extremely useful ailment that we will be abusing on pretty much everything that is vulnerable to it.
I've said before, poison in Final Fantasy XIII is great.
I was amazed that 13 actually manages to make most of the status conditions meaningful. You know, up until about 12, I would just go through the game and do nothing but damage. And then once I got to 12 and 13, it actually made sense to have a green mage along.
Yeah, well 12 was more notable for making the positive buffs on your guys more useful solely because they would carry over from fight to fight. Which was a thing, but putting negative buffs on an enemy still wasn't that great a thing.
Well, it kind of depended on how you did it.
Okay, there were some. Oh yeah, there were exceptions, and the Neo Palaver was lunacy. Although I don't think it's quite as broken in the International Zodiac job system version, which, to be clear, is the only version of Final Fantasy XII actually worth playing.
Yeah, see, I only played the original, and I pretty much resigned myself at that point. I was never really going to ever play 12 again.
Well, if they ever make an HD remake of 12, it will probably be the international version.
Yeah, but 12 didn't have any sequels to package with it.
Sure it did. It had that DS game that nobody played.
Yeah, and you're gonna package a DS game on what, the PS4?
Totally. Nintendo would be fine with that.
I guess they could put it out for the Wii U.
It's not like it would be the first time anything weird like that happened. I mean, Mirror of Fate HD, the Castlevania game, Mirror of Fate, that showed up on PS3, 360, PC.
And here we see the reason that you don't put an enemy that's resistant to magic against characters that only have magic.
Yeah, it becomes a bit of a slog. But hey, it falls to the exact same strategy that works for everything else in Final Fantasy XIII.
Just pretty much attack it until it dies.
Well, stagger it, then attack it till it dies. Totally different.
And how do you stagger it?
By attacking it until it's staggered? What, those aren't the same at all.
Alright, so there are 3 Flame Dragora guarding that treasure chest over there now. And I'm going to go ahead and change it to rain, because I want to fight the mud frogs instead.
Seems a solid plan. Welp!
And of course, because you can't open chests unless you are, you know, you don't have an enemy attacking you, so yeah. I did all that, and I was like, nope, you have to fight the Scale Beast anyway.
Now here's a dumb thing. This area has sunny weather and rainy weather in close proximity, and a song with cheerful lyrics about stepping into the rainbow, and yet, if you change from rainy weather into sunny weather, there is no rainbow that appears. What the fuck, Square Enix? You had one job. One.
Alright, so these new little guys are the Garchimisera? I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Seems good.
Yeah, they're the next step up from the Gremlins, and they cast Fira instead of Fire. Otherwise, yeah, you know, standard step up.
Yeah, a physical attack would ruin them if we had people with good physical attacks. But alas. Fortunately, they're not big buckets of HP, so no one cares.
Yeah, Saz is okay, but yeah, you really want someone like Lightning or Snow if you're gonna do physical attacks right now.
Yeah.
Well, there are at least accessories that'd boost his strength for a bit.
I think he has one of those equipped right now, actually.
Yeah, and he's got his average guns that give him average stats, as opposed to the bling cannons, which gives him magic.
But that's it. That's it. That was the entirety of the Sunlith Waterscape. We're at the boss.
We hope you enjoyed the show, folks. But it's a fact, most people will have nearly as much fun listening to that music as I did doing those karaoke subtitles. I bet the boss is going to be bullshit.
Boss isn't that bad. It doesn't have any music, though, so Saz's theme just plays over the entire thing, and that's pretty great.
Sweet.
That's not good.
What do we do?
Alright, I got it. We sneak.
Right.
Now see, there's someone who can make a sensible decision that would lead to less gameplay if it actually worked.
Just use Deceptisol.
Just too much to ask to cut me one break, isn't it?
Come and get it!
Then again, if you don't beat these guys, you don't unlock a Crystarium level and jobs and whatever else you get.
Alright, so this is Enki and Enlil. They're pretty much the same thing. One uses electricity, one uses water, but otherwise, that's about all they really got going for them. Ever so often, they'll use the ability Bellow, which gives them a host of buffs like bravery and faith. But other than that, it's pretty simple stuff.
I forget, can we do anything about enemy buffs at this point?
We cannot do anything about. Maybe. Vanille can undo Protect and Shell, but that's about it.
Weirdly, I think it's kind of like... I honestly think there would have been something for having saboteurs have Dispel as their default. Oh, well, they're supposed to be putting debuffs on people. It's a weird balance thing.
Yeah, there's Bellow, which gives him, Bravery, Faith, Haste, and End Thunder, which makes all of his attacks do lightning damage as well.
Presumably the other one gets and whatever, ice, fire, whatever the hell it is. I've honestly already forgotten.
Yeah, they're a complementary pair. The whole gimmick of the fight is, have you bothered to use Libra and learn what their weakness is?
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that 13 is kind of weird in that it has both fire, ice, thunder, and water, and wind.
It also has Earth, but you would never know it because Quake requires TP to use, which is a load of bullshit.
Yeah, what the hell? And it costs like 2. It should cost like half a TP to use Quake. Really?
It shouldn't be a TP thing in the first place. It's the only fucking Earth spell in the entire game.
Is there actually any point to using it ever? I mean, like, was there a single fight that you can make easier using Quake? There has to be one, right?
The only real use I can think of it is if you have a fight where you get a preemptive strike and there are a lot of enemies, you could stagger them all at once with Quake, but yeah, like there's really no reason to use it really ever, and holy shit, that was a close call.
Good thing for that quick paradigm shifting, huh?
Good thing its attack power is so low. I mean, now you've got Deprotect. Now it would kill you.
Yeah, that's the other thing it does. The Water Burst attack he'll spit a ball at you, and it will inflict Deprotect.
I was kind of wondering why Saz didn't put In Thunder on you guys when you had In Water. 'Cause that wouldn't really work well for this guy.
In Water I think was probably a holdover from the first one.
Well, yeah, but if you still have it, you can't attack this guy with it.
Yeah, the Final Fantasy XIII AI isn't the best at buffing, as previously discussed, even before you start accounting for the elemental stuff.
It's good at elements, but not good at, say, buffing, so you end up with a mess of things.
Yeah, see, just about any other game that had this kind of AI, you'd be able to go in and prioritize, which spells are the most important for your character in this role. But you don't get that kind of micromanagement here.
See FF12, where you can do exactly that. I had a setup I was fond of that involved everyone like making sure that one character was constantly in haste, berserk, and bravery at all times. That was fun. Because like it lets you do that. It lets you set up like not just what things to prioritize generally, but things to specifically cast on this named party member. If you want, you could just not care. That's fine too. Everyone's a winner. But in this game, just nope.
And there's so few games with AI that actually makes sense. I've been playing a lot of Kingdom Hearts recently, and it's all either never use any MP, or use all your MP on the first enemy you see. There's no in between.
Yeah, when I think logic, I don't think Kingdom Hearts.
I was just going to point out that one thing I do like is they drop two rings. One gives you thunder resistance, one gives you water resistance.
We're in Nautilus.
Oh, how precious.
The city of dreams.
If only we
I
were
can
keeping
wear
up those
pieces of the
clouds.
boss I just killed around.
So you're not dreaming up those clouds, but you are about a couple of paces away from a piece of technology that can make them go away.
Just gonna run and take a look ahead.
No. These are plot clouds, Fiddle. That's not how this works.
No, right, the plot.
Well, I mean, if you built a machine that could control the weather, would you duplicate it and spread it all over the world? Or would you just put about 10 of them in one place?
Well, ostensibly, the whole weather thing is supposed to be controlled by the Foul Sea anyway.
Well, climbing over's out.
I guess sometimes the FLC need help figuring out how to do it right?
And I was almost tempted to talk about a video game that I played recently in which arbitrary control over the weather, among other things, is a key part of the setting, but I can't name it because that detail would be a spoiler.
We can board the ship over there.
Oh well. But hey, speaking of weather,
Well, of course it would be safe to walk through an electric fence in the rain.
why they're already through it, who cares? But hey, how about those graphics, huh?
When it rains around here, it pours. And then it rains some more.
It's some really fucking pretty rain.
Saz, do you hate Pulse?
Why wouldn't I? Look at this mess it's gotten us all into.
There's a plot point being danced around here, but I can't
Say I always
quite see it.
I'm so down on Pulse, I ripped out my own heart so I wouldn't have a heartbeat.
About the threat from Pulse.
And that's pretty down.
Only a matter of time before they strike. Pulse is infested with monsters. Scare after scare. Not even a shred of proof. Tired old cynics like me? We don't just swallow that tabloid crap.
That's why I'm spouting it all back to you.
No.
I wonder if Cocoon has the Daily
I
Mail.
figured the Sanctum was up to something crooked.
Well, let me just list some other things I don't believe in and don't think we should even be talking about right now.
Yeah.
Well, this is a Final Fantasy conversation.
Now that I think about it,
It wouldn't be right if they didn't do
all
that.
this purge business. It really only happened because Dodge found that Pulse Foul C.
You're wrong.
Huh?
Don't blame him. It was all...
Or what, Vanille?
Tell us, O Keeper of the Plot.
Yeah, you're right. It was that scum from Pulse behind it.
I'm missing something.
I might as well
Yeah, I
have
don't
tried to
believe
stop
all
the
that stuff
rain,
they say about Pulse, but the people from there are still scum.
but they still fell.
Guys, I'm starting to get the feeling
Getting soaked.
I don't think Vanille is telling the truth about herself yet.
It's only water.
It's good, isn't it? I mean, the truth could only be worse than what we've learned so far.
Yeah, honestly, I'd be pretty happy to find out that she's not like an obnoxiously cheerful fake Australian, voiced by a real Australian. I don't know, that'd be pretty good. Can we have that?
Of course we can't have that. You know that.
Oh. Well, great, now we have to end on a downer.
That's it, folks. We will see you next time for Chapter 7, where the plot will start to actually kick in. See you then.